No Uno Moss. Although actually, before you guys leave, I do have something special to show you guys in a second. If you guys want to stick around for something. Okay, so, do you guys remember we were talking about OMS Task 2? And I said I didn't really feel like doing it because I thought the route was boring and everything. I kind of lied. I actually did do OMS Task 2. And I have something to show you regarding it. Wow. We have some insults in the chat. There's a reason. I have a good reason for it, okay? Okay, so I found a cool little trick for this. So I just want to show a cool little trick I found for OMS Task 2. So the route most people were doing for OMS Task 2 was you have to beat Shadow Temple, or you have to get to the end of Shadow Temple, so you have to get Lullaby. So people are either getting Lullaby normally or RBAing Lullaby. I decided I don't like either of those. So I need to do something to just get to the end of Shadow without Lullaby. And so actually, before I continue this, I have a little bit of explanation I need to give to you guys. So you guys may have heard me say that many times in Rando that to get to the end of Shadow, I need either Lullaby or Furrow's Wind. And in Vanilla, of course, you need Lullaby to get Furrow's Wind anyway. So you might think, why don't you just hover across the whole thing? Like it's pretty big, but you can probably hover, right? So the problem is this. You see this yellow? So this yellow indicates a slippery slope. What this means is if you hover over this, Link gets stuck and you can't move and you can't backflip or side hop, and it prevents you from hovering. And there's one of these at either end of the room. So there's one over there, there's one over here. And these slippery slopes are what prevent you from going over the room, from just hovering over the room. And so for a long time, the only way to actually... Here, let me just... As a quick demonstration. So for a long time, the only way to actually get over the room was to... It was either take the boat normally. See, if I try to backflip or side hop here, I just can't do anything. So you either had to take the boat normally, or you void warp, or you take the boat, you void warp, or you just boss key skip to bongo. But if you got boss key skip to bongo, you can't go backwards to the end of the dungeon. So, I did some work, and I decided I don't want to get Lullaby. I don't want to get Furrow's Wind. I would like to just get through this room without any of that stuff. And so I did some work. I still have the ice cheat sheet on. But yes, so I did some work and I made this work. I figured out a way to actually get through this whole room without riding the boat. So now we'll all just watch. So this does require, as you might expect, a very large number of bomb chews. So I do have to do some RBA here. Does this have any use in any run category? So here's the thing about this. There is no main category that has any real use for this. You know what can use this? No logic randomizer. So yes, you might be seeing more of this. Now the thing is, no logic randomizer. Obviously, I say I can't RBA in Rando, but you can fix that by just farming 50 chews. How difficult is this RTA? I would say this is the most difficult trick I've done since Gwei Hover. Oh, also, so the strat that I'm showing right now is actually an older version. I'll show a newer version after this. This was actually my initial strat, and then I found a better strat after this. But this strat is pretty cool. But yes, this strat is very, very difficult. Oh, also, Big shout outs to Jolin. So I needed to do, as you see, I have a very low chew count right here. And I needed to do RBA here to get a large chew count. And there's no good setup for adult chew RBA without a wall. And so I actually talked to Jolin about this and tried to see if he could come up with a setup. So that was actually the first setup he came up with. We actually came up with a better setup after that that'll show in the newer version. So that's to get 29 chews. So I can refill my chews without the need for a wall, because the... Oh, actually, okay, before I go any further, one more thing to explain here is these rocks are super annoying to work with in terms of setups. So these rocks only have one grabbable ledge. This one, you can't grab this one. You can't grab this one. And you can't grab the other one. So not having a wall to work with and only having a single grabbable ledge, which is really weird that there's 1 and not 0. You'd think it's either 0 or 4, but it's only 1. This made setups super annoying to work with. So it's cool that Jolin was able to find that RBA setup. And also that Hess setup that I did at the taller rock, that was also terrible to get. I actually ended up figuring out a way to do it without that big Hess. And also this so this hover here is actually very precise. So all of these side flip hovers have to be first or second frame hovers. And then the hovers that I did earlier, here, let me show this again. If you look closely here, so I actually did the left stance thing. It's a very obscure OOT tech, but if you like tap left so that Link's shield is kind of crooked while hovering, it makes it changes the frame data on hovers. It essentially makes it easier to get frame perfect hovers if you're dropping the chew instantly. It's also used in collapse skip, the collapse skip setup in Hundo. And then, so this hover is to get in a very precise position, and the reason this hover is really precise is for this side hop here, check this out. I have to get anti-grav there. I got anti-grav from the ceiling, and then I fall barely far enough so I can equip hover boots, jump slash, and land here. Yeah, so anti-grav is the key to all this. So I also have one more thing to explain about the position of that last side hop. Let me just go that. Yeah, I'll show that in third person. Also, I'm gonna show some collision stuff with that too. Looks like it'll make for some fun no logic randos. Yeah. Yeah, so I did submit a run for task 2 with this. I did do this in a run. I did submit it. Yes, I did secretly compete in OMS without telling you guys. Okay, so let me talk about this position right here. So what this setup is for. So this setup, I have to get a few things right on the X, Y, and Z coordinate. So the Z coordinate, which is going back and forth here, so like this direction. I have to have Link right in front of this wall. Seems obvious, that's not too surprising. The X coordinate, which is going forward and backwards on the river. I have Link positioned right before the slope appears. I'm like right there, right before the slope starts. So I'm as close as I can get without actually going over the slope. And does the side hop, gets the anti-grav. No, I don't think I can play it in 0.5. Well, I guess I can like rapidly frame advance it. Does this count as 0.5 speed? There you can see the anti-grav clearly there. So yeah, and then, so I said that was actually my initial strat and I got a better strat. Let me show you guys the better strat now. It's, I mean, it's pretty similar, but I think it's a bit more interesting. My submission for task 2, I mean, it's unlisted on YouTube. I did submit it. I don't think I'll release the video until the results are out. Just because it seems like that's what most people are doing. I guess it's more interesting if we wait until the results are out. So yeah, this was my newer strat. So actually, about my submission, so I did a run that did my older strat, which was the one I showed before this. And this newer strat, I didn't actually get a good run of. So unfortunately, this strat I did not do in my OMS run. It's going to be the older strat. I found this strat like 2 days before the end, and it's really hard because I was actually also trying all these hovers unbuffered also, and I tried, but I was not able to get a good run of this before the deadline. So my OMS run's my old strat. Still cool though. It's hard to say how much time it saves over getting ZL. It's 100% faster. It's guaranteed faster. There's no question about that. How much time it saves depends a lot on how much are you buffering, obviously how well you execute it. The thing is, you're comparing against watching a cutscene, which, you know, is essentially no execution, while this is insanely difficult. So the execution difference is really hard to compare. I want to say optimally it's probably like 2-ish minutes faster, 3 minutes maybe. I think like super optimally maybe 3 minutes faster. No, is that? I'm gonna call it 2.5. 2.5 minutes faster is my super optimal guess. Okay, so this hover, I also optimized the hover. If you compare this hover to the version I did at first, this hover is way more optimal. I use way fewer explosives. But yeah, so that will be in my OMS submission. So that, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Do you guys think that was cool? Do you think that's a cool strat? That is good for rando. Now when I need to beat Shadow Temple, it's not I need Lullaby or Furore's Wind, it's I need Lullaby, Furore's Wind, or Hover Boots. Well, and explosives obviously, but well, specifically choose. But yeah, if I farm 50 chews and I have hover boots, I can get through Shadow without Lullaby or Furore's Wind now. So that's gonna be fun.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. We got Banuru, Count, Tob, and ZFG. And Count and ZFG are here with me. Let me make sure you guys can hear them. Guys, say hi.
Hello, everyone.
ZFG's awake!
Incredible.
I woke up in time.
Well done. Guys, what did you think of Task 2?
At first, I was a little, not sure of it, but once I figured out some good ideas, I thought it was really cool.
ZFG had some good ideas. We're gonna see about those later. Yeah, so we see that Tob is going off the rails here, Gerudo as child, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, Gerudo's child is a pretty neat route. Don't watch my stream. Okay, I don't even know what happened there. That was like the weirdest. I've never failed dot skip that way. It was super weird.
You know, when I saw ZFG fail dot skip while I was verifying this run, I was like, I wonder why he didn't just reset. But, you know, that becomes apparent in
I have a good reason.
He has a good reason.
Okay, he still made it to top 4, so clearly he knew what he was doing.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, in general, I kind of went for very easy strats for almost everything in the run due to one particular thing that I couldn't really make easy.
Hard to follow 5 screens. A little bit, yeah. It's a little bit different from, like, normal OOT races where, you know, usually it's like an RTA route. So the small video under the timer is my run. I put up benchmark times for each run that is worth extra points to runners if they beat it. But no one knows what it is ahead of time, so they just have to play as well as they can and hope that they beat me.
So Chad has an interesting observation that I am now in Shadow Temple without Lullaby.
I didn't get it.
Interesting.
It's scary.
I didn't get it until you did the half milk RBA right here. I was like, why does he need those 5 extra? Oh my god! We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I just needed to come here to get hover boots early, that's why.
Yeah. Right at the start here, Count Banuro, or at the start of ZFG Shadow Temple, Count Banuro and Tob aren't doing things that are particularly interesting, so it's good that ZFG stream is the thing to pay attention to, right?
Yeah. Let's all pay attention to this one now. Not that. Ignore that. Now pay attention. All right, yeah, so I don't have Lullaby here, so I have to do a bit more of a difficult way to go around here. So I guess I should just start explaining what's going on with this room. So there are two slippery slopes at the beginning and end of this room, which normally if you hover above them, it prevents you from hovering. So that's why, like, common knowledge has always been that you just can't hover through this room because those slippery slopes will stop you. That first Hess gets around the first one, which is part of why I got hover boots. And now, in this room, there are actually these rocks that are completely solid and standable. And you can stand on them and use them as stepping stones to get through the room. And so now, this is the part where this is the hard part where I have to do lots of hovers through the entire room.
It's lucky that these pillars are here, otherwise it would be a totally hopeless case.
Yeah, they're completely pointless. Like in the main game, like you might be able to jump to I think you can jump to them from the boat, but like you have no reason to. There's nothing there. They're purely decoration.
I know as a kid I wanted to. I don't know if I ever did, but I very specifically remember wanting to just see what happens if you get to one of those.
Yeah.
I was like convinced there were secrets.
Yeah, I know some ROM hacks do some fun stuff with them. I know Nimpies did, which is pretty cool. And this Hess that I'm doing is unfortunately very precise.
I squealed a little when I saw this one. Look at where he lands.
It's extremely cool. Look at how close I am.
Oh.
Yeah, it's extremely cool, but it is very tight and very hard to make a consistent setup for. And in addition to that, I actually cut that out of my newer strat again that I couldn't get a good run of before the deadline. So my newer strat actually just hovers past that tall rock entirely.
Anti-grav with the side hop right there was particularly genius to skip the last slippery slope.
Yeah. I spent like hours trying to figure that out, and then when I realized, wait, and I realized like side hop is close-ish, but not quite close enough, and I'm like, wait a minute, I can probably get anti-grav on this ceiling, and then it worked.
Yeah, that was completely sick.
So ZFG and Banuru are like exactly tied here. Count's a little bit ahead so far. Tob's just started his adult section, and I'm on the boat, but I have warp songs, so it looks like I'm a little bit behind, but I'll be able to catch up a little bit.
But also one more thing to note about my route in relation to the others is that I have hover boots while the others don't, so
True.
that actually does end up saving a bit of time. I was actually worried in my initial route planning that like having to get hover boots would make it just too much slower, that it's not actually worth it, but hover boots actually saves a decent amount of time later on.
Yeah. I have hover boots too because I did the bomb route, so I didn't have choose to blow up the bomb flowers here. So I used hover boots to Hess across.
Oh.
This mega flip right here is one of the difficult tricks I was talking about. That's really punishing if you fail it.
Doing that on buffered
Yeah.
is it's kind of nuts. So this was pretty cool, looking at Count using a bomb shoe to bait the guards into the torch with you, whereas normally you would like shoot the hook shot or something. I didn't know that was a thing. Was that common knowledge before this, or did people find that for this task?
I'm not actually sure. I know we found it pretty early when testing stuff. I don't know if it was known before.
But yeah, their hover boots saved a lot of time there in Greta Valley for me, just being able to hover over the bridge instead of being able to Hess over the bridge instead of having to hover or mega flip. Okay, I just want to say I despise looking at that chew strat for the guards. I think it looks so bad.
It usually worked a bit better, but it can just fail sometimes if the Gerudo is like a bit far away.
I'm really glad that I was able to get nuts in shadow, so the guards aren't super terrible for me.
Yeah.
Count has made it into Jabu. Benoru and ZFG are right behind. All three of them just need this one more, and Tob is on the boat. So it's coming down to the wire here. Count is the winner with a 34-29. Well done, dude. 2 in a row.
Thank you.
Nice. GG.
GG.
Thank you.
And ZFG deciding, you know, I don't care about Beery Hover.
I
I have hover boots.
actually love Beery Hover, and I was kind of sad to do this, but I'm like, this is like 10 seconds faster.
Dang, ZFG,
So
how
I have
could you?
to.
How
I know.
could you
I
take
feel
Beery
kind of
Hover out of
bad
the route?
betraying Beery.
Wait, why did ZFG's thing restart? Oh, because he finished. Never mind. ZFG, second place. Well done. I looked away for 2 seconds. Tob, third place, right behind. And Bunuru coming in a very respectable fourth place with my benchmark entering the Beery Hover room right behind. So my benchmark time was a 36:25. Anybody who beat a 36:25 is going to get 7 extra points on the leaderboard again because 7 people beat it. Counting ZFG, you got any last words? Not in life, but like on the stream in general, you know?
GG's everybody. That was a really fun one to take part in. Yeah.
Yeah, this one was pretty fun. It was really fun. It was fun and kind of driving me insane to figure out the strats for this, but in the end, it's worth it. I'm a little disappointed I didn't get a run with my better newer strat. I found like a newer strat like 2 days. It was 2 days before the extended deadline, so 1 day before the initial one.
Yeah.
And I was also trying to not buffer all of the hovers, which made it insanely difficult, so I couldn't get a run in time. But
Yeah,
a bit sad about
you
that,
were
but yeah.
you were one failed duck skip away from first place this time, so it was close.
Yeah. yeah. I was trying to get like a 33 though, which would have been insane, but oh well.
Well done anyway, insane strat. Really cool to see it get done.